Hello students, now we'll start with new topic in biological classification chapter, that is about eubacteria. Eubacteria also called as true bacteria, and under eubacteria now we will start with example cyanobacteria, which is also called as blue-green algae. So we will start with eubacteria, which is also called as true bacteria. Under that, we go for example cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, example, it is also called as blue-green algae. We indicate this one as BGA. Cyanobacteria are colonial in form, means they live in colonies. For suppose, if one cyanobacteria is there, other cyanobacteria will hang on with that. Other cyanobacteria will be attached like this. Other cyanobacteria will be like this. So, cyanobacteria are colonial but in a straight chain-like arrangement. Colony is straight chain-like in linear pattern. So called as streptococcal linear form. Now, this cyanobacteria is having all types of structural arrangement equal to that of a typical bacteria, means a normal bacteria. Some cyanobacteria has special structures that fix atmospheric nitrogen. These are called as heterocysts. Cyanobacteria has green color pigment inside the body, that is chlorophyll A. Cyanobacteria does not have chloroplast but has chlorophyll A pigment. Cyanobacteria has green color inside the body because of chlorophyll A pigment. Outside the body, it is having gelatinous mucousy substance. In that gelatinous mucousy substance, there are present copper ions. Because of that, it appears blue in color outside the body. So outside the body, here and there are copper ions. Copper ions. So that blue-green algae means the total colonial form appears blue in color outside the body. Because of chlorophyll A inside the body, cyanobacteria is green from inside, and because of copper ions on in the gelatinous outer mucus layer of the body, it appears blue from outside, and the colony shape resembles a long thallus of algae. Thallus means the body of an organism whose total structure of the body is not differentiated into either root or stem or leaf. Such body is called as thallus. We know that the body of algae and fungi are nothing but thallus in organization. Body. So, cyanobacteria is also called as blue-green algae. Blue from outside the body, green from inside the body. Morphologically, the shape of total colony is algae, long thread-like, so called as algae. So we are giving a term like blue-green algae. The cell wall of eubacteria or cyanobacteria is made of peptidoglycan membrane. Peptidoglycan membrane is composed of N-acetyl muramic acid plus N-acetyl glucosamine. We know that the difference between eubacteria and archaebacteria is only in this composition, that is, eubacteria has N-acetyl muramic acid, but archaebacteria has N-acetyl pseudomuramic acid. It moves, it in the sense eubacteria. With help of flagella. Some blue-green algae are found in colonies. Some are solitary, in a sense single. Here we have seen cyanobacteria as an best example. Among the types of cyanobacteria also, we can learn some of the examples like Enabina, Microcystis, etc. This Enabina is blue-green algae that lives in leaves of Azolla plant. Microcystis is a freshwater blue-green algae. Is a freshwater blue-green algae. What about this Azolla plant? Azolla plant is an aquatic fern. Aquatic fern. So some point is there, some bacteria move by with the help of flagella. So filamentous blue-green algae, we have one best example, that is Oscillatoria. Oscillatoria is considered as facultative anaerobe. It is also considered as chemoautotroph. Now, oscillatoria, each filament is also called as a trichome. Each filament is also called as a trichome. Blue-green algae that is used as fodder for cattle. Fodder means food for cattle. Is dash spirulina. Spirulina is used as food or fodder for cattle. Structure of blue-green algae or cyanobacteria is similar to gram-negative bacteria. Next. So, when this blue-green algae is present in water, how it is able to move? There are structures called as gas vacuoles. So, gas vacuoles will provide buoyancy to blue-green algae in water. Next, this gas vacuoles term we can also see when we are reading about purple and green photosynthetic bacteria. This one we also see in purple and green photosynthetic bacteria. Blue-green algae stores food material in form of granules. Those granules are of two types. In form of alpha granules and beta granules. First one, alpha granules. Alpha granules means cyanophycean starch, which is similar to glycogen in eukaryotes, is the stored form of food material. Is cyanophycean starch. This cyanophycean starch is similar to glycogen. Next one, beta granules. Beta granules, this form of food material is fat molecules. Fat molecules. Next, we know one point that basically enzyme is denatured at higher temperature, but there are some types of blue-green algae which can even survive at 80 degrees centigrade also. That example is nothing but oscillatoria. Basically, enzymes are denatured, means they break into pieces, denatured at higher temperatures. But one blue-green algae survives even at 80 degrees centigrade. Example is Oscillatoria. Oscillatoria has homopolymer or homopolar bonds. Homopolar bonds. These bonds will give the capacity to tolerate even higher temperatures. Protection from high temperatures. Now, this blue-green algae, it fixes nitrogen in atmospheric nitrogen in rice fields. Blue-green algae exists in first thallus of Anthoceros. Anthoceros is a bryophyta. Nothing but another important point is it is a hornwort. Second one, blue-green algae exists in leaves of Azolla. Blue-green algae, it exists in coralloid roots of cycas. Blue-green algae also exists in stem of Gunnera. Blue-green algae exists in root nodules of Trifolium. Now, what are these plants? Anthoceros is a bryophyta. Azolla is an aquatic fern. Cycas is a gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are the just growths before angiosperms, which produces naked seeds. Under gymnosperms, we have two examples, that is cycas and pinus. So, under cycas, root nodules, we see the blue-green algae. Next, stem of Gunnera. Gunnera is an angiosperm, the flowering plants. Gymnosperm, non-flowering plants. Trifolium, it is also angiosperm, but it belongs to family Fabaceae or Leguminosae. If Azolla is grown in rice fields, then yield will be 50% more because of anabina in the leaves of Azolla. Then the yield is increased to more 50% due to anabina. Next, anabina, nostoc and Olocera. They are free-living, symbiotic blue-green algae. Olocera is also type of blue-green algae which supports in nitrogen fixation. And they fix nitrogen. Anabina is used as green manure. What is green manure? Green manure is the material that when added to the soil, then soil fertility will be increased. Is increasing soil fertility. There are some types of examples under blue-green algae which are non-symbiotically fixing nitrogen also. So those examples are Azotobacter and Beechernickia. These both are considered as non-symbiotic aerobic nitrogen fixers. Non-symbiotic aerobic nitrogen fixers. Actually, all these are previous MCQs that I made as a concept. Next. So, non-symbiotic means they take support of shelter from the host that they are residing, but they will not give any help for the host. Aerobic means they fix nitrogen only in presence of air. Means without air, they will not be survived. Next. Other examples are non-symbiotic anaerobic nitrogen fixers. Non-symbiotic anaerobic free-living nitrogen fixers. Here examples are Rhodospirillum, Klebsiella, Clostridium. Clostridium was asked before, I remember. Next. This is a gram-negative bacteria. Clostridium also fixes nitrogen, gram-negative. Next. Symbiotic free-living examples. Symbiotic free-living nitrogen fixes. One example is there, that is Azospirillum. So these are few names of blue-green algae that are doing different types of functions. This topic particularly I have seen at least one question from this total concept. Every year, if at least one question was not asked, at least one point will be mentioned in the match the following type of MCQs also. So better do many times drilling or practicing of these types of examples and their functions.